Hello, welcome back to my channel, Retire Abroad Finance. My name is Martha, and so this is not the video that I planned to post on Sunday. I am replacing the video that I planned to post with this video. And if I'm looking down, I'm looking at my computer because I had to make some bullet points so that I could kind of keep my thoughts together on this. So anyway, I wanted to talk about what happened on Friday. So for those that are new to the channel, I gave my notice 10 months ago. And it was initially going to be even longer. It was going to be 14 months notice, and my last day was to be the end of December. There have been some changes in the company. This is a company that I did help build and love it. And I just, I decided I don't want to wait till December. It's better for my family. It's just better for my health. It's better overall. So I did move the date up at the beginning of the year and let them know that I was going to be retiring the end of August. So today is July 19th. Yesterday, which was Friday, I did get a phone call from one of the executives, and he came back with a request. They wanted to know if I would continue to do some tasks for them for 60 days at the least. So, he couldn't give me an exact time. He couldn't, we haven't defined the scope really, but I do know some of the things that he is hoping that I will continue to do. Apparently they are having a harder time than they thought replacing the last part of my job. Now, they've hired, over the past year and a half, they have hired 3 people to replace what I used to do, and there's one more area of responsibility that they need to hire for, and they're having a hard time doing that. And that is the reason why I gave them 10 months. That was their request, that I give them a long lead time. And like I said, I helped to build this company. I love this company. I care very much about the people that work there. I've worked with some of them for a long time, and we built something great. And so I tried really hard to make this a transition that would work for everyone. It would work for me. It would allow us to just really sock money away. It would give us time to wrap up our life here. And then, a week after I retire, we're heading off into the sunset. We begin our travel. Okay, so when he initially made the offer, he told me, name your price. So, I told him, well, I'd thought about this possibility, and I didn't really have a figure yet, but I was thinking in the range of, and I put it out there, to be what I considered to be a completely exorbitant rate. And he didn't blink. He said, well, I told you to name your price, and I think that's reasonable, which threw me. So I told him, well, I have to discuss it with my husband. And I also discussed it with a friend who is extremely wise in these matters and has a lot of experience. Got his input. And I did put together a sample proposal, but I haven't sent it in yet. We've got plenty of time, and I want time to think about it. And I have a lot to think about, and I kind of wanted to hash that out today. And I wanted to hear, is there anybody that's gone through something like this? Or, what would you do? What would you do if this happened to you? So, again, I've worked this past 10 months. I've worked hard to try to transition everything over. I took care of everything that was hitting my corporate card, because for a long time I was paying everything for everybody. So that's all transitioned over. I transitioned over vendors. This is all hitting the financial area because we've replaced everything else. So I really thought I was in a good place, and I was ready to retire. I was ready to be free. I was ready to not have that stress of having to constantly check emails, stress of, having to constantly deal with vendors and my team having questions about this or that or whatever, payment, compensation, whatever they're asking me about, and me having to research. Just tired, so I've kind of already started that transition, sort of like a senior in high school. You graduate, or you're getting ready to graduate from high school. You've taken all your exams, you've been accepted at college, and you're sitting in the classroom listening to the teacher talk, and you're thinking, why am I here? Why am I here? I still went the last days, but I tell you, it passed through my head. I've already got my grades. It's not going to affect my grades. It's not going to affect my college entry. It's not going to affect anything. Why am I here? And that's kind of how I felt the last few days. Now, I knew that I wasn't fully replaced, and I brought it up a few times, and it just wasn't being done. And finally I had to say, you know what? I've done what I can do. I can't do anymore. And I warned HR of what was going to happen in the next month and a half if we didn't have somebody. And next thing we know, this phone call. So I do, like I said, I have some points down here because I had to organize my mind. I've been conflicted now for over 24 hours, and just kind of going back and forth over what I want versus what may be wise. I don't know. So pardon me while I look and just kind of looking at my points that I made. So, like I said, I was really looking forward to zero drama, zero emails from, professional emails, being able to delete my LinkedIn or inactivate the account, being able to have the flexibility and not thinking, I don't know, can I run to the store right now because I have some deadlines approaching and I have some people that have questions, and by the way, there's auditors and blah, 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 all these things going on. Now I can, once I'm retired, I can get up in the morning and I can say, what do I want to do today? What do we have planned for today, husband o' mine? So, the thought of that extending out 60 days or even 90 days, I'm definitely not working past December 30th, but, you get your head set on a date. What do you do? So, there was a team of us at this company, and we worked very, very hard to build this company into a great company. It's an industry leader. And we did it because we all had a sense of responsibility. We all had a sense that we wanted this to thrive. We wanted it to succeed. We wanted to help others. We wanted to protect each other and protect the company and help it continue to grow. How do you walk away from that sense of responsibility and just know that, if I say no, people are going to get hurt because they haven't replaced me and they don't have someone to do that. And I'm not trying to inflate my sense of importance. I'm really not. I'm just saying that it's going to be very, very difficult for people because they haven't replaced certain functions that involve compensation and things like that. There's going to be confusion. It's going to affect company morale because there isn't someone there in place to pick it up and continue, which is why I stayed. So how do you walk away from responsibility that you've had your whole life? I've always conducted myself, I hope, with a sense of responsibility towards my family, towards others around me. Sometimes I may have suffered a little bit in that, but that's what we're called to do, is place others before ourselves to an extent. I would wager that probably a lot of you would say the same thing, that you sacrificed a great deal for the people that you care about. So when do you walk away from that? It's flattering for someone to say, we can't let you go, name your price. But my value is not in my job. My value is in myself as a person, who I am to my family, how I treat other people around me. What am I doing for others? That kind of thing. Without congratulations, without payment. That's my value. But what's it going to cost me? Some of the tasks that they want me to do, because they haven't got them replaced, are my most stressful tasks. It's affected my health. It's affected my sleep. So I'm looking at, having this anticipation that's just building and building and building, and all of a sudden, boom, it's extended out. And yeah, I know it's only 3 months, but it's been a really, really hard ride these last couple of years. And, we've had a lot of cancer in my immediate family. We had people almost die. We have people now that the cancer is back. Not back, but it wasn't a curable cancer, but manifested itself again, adjusted to the drugs again. And now that person is I'm the caregiver right now. So, when is it okay to say no? Is it wrong for me to say no? We're talking a lot of money. Money that could help my family. So, as I said, I'm very conflicted right now. I do want to hear what people have to say in the comments. I want to hear your input. I am not looking to do a get rich quick kind of thing on this. I'm looking to set a high enough price that it's going to hurt them. Not because I want to hurt them, but I want to drive them to making a hire to replacing me. I don't want to be so convenient as a contractor that they just think they can keep me on. I want them to say, okay, well, this is the price for this month, and I guess we better hurry up on that hire and get that person onboarded so that I can train them, and then I'm out. So it's a lot of money. It's a lot of money. So I don't know what to do. So what I've done is I've prepared a proposal. I haven't submitted it. My husband agrees with it. He would be fine if I went higher. He said to me, yeah, the money would be nice. We could use it on bucket list items. We could just sock it away for more savings. But what do you want to do? So he's fully supporting me. He said, if it's bothering you this much, you can tell them no. You can tell them no. He said you gave him 10 months notice. So I'm really conflicted. My friends looked over the proposal. My husband's looked over the proposal. I got some great feedback. So I'm going to sit on it for a while. I've got 40 days before my last day. I did suggest a temporary hire that could peel some of the finance stuff off, which they thought was a fantastic idea, and they're getting right on that, but it still doesn't take care of the high-level stuff. And they haven't got that person yet. And they looks like even the people they're interviewing won't be able to start until after my retirement. So, the reality of it is that I'm looking at least 60 days, and that's what he told me. He said, if we end up doing this, I would prepare yourself for at least 60 days. So, again, very conflicted. I want to hear what you have to say. So what would you do in this situation if you had your dreams right there within your grasp? Right there within your grasp. 40 days away. You're free. You are free. You've worked so hard for this. You've sacrificed and saved for this. And now, it's not coming true when you thought it was going to come true. It's not coming to pass when you thought it was coming to pass. What would you do? Would you do 2 or possibly 3 more months of pain and stress, political drama, toxicity for a decent sum of money? Please put your comments below. I want to hear it. I want to hear what you would do. I'll fill you in later. I'll give you amounts. I'll give you figures, anything. Once I've made a decision and once the ink is signed and the deal is done, if I go forward, I'll update you with figures, or I'll tell you if I decided to say no. And as always, thank you for watching. I really appreciate it, and I value your opinions. God bless.